Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene and I am with A Room to Bloom. So I am trying some new things here today, but also in the past, I would say week or so, I have stepped back from making videos or bringing out messages. Not with this intention of just like stopping to do that, but there were some other things that I've been working on. It's just simply like an energy shift, but there's also this thing that I've been observing. Right now I'm having some feedback, so let's get that corrected. But I've been observing what's been going on with um, what the messages I share and such. So it's a little bit of this. This is the greater message today. It is rest, but do not quit, because it is in that resting and in that quiet place where we receive the answers, right? So if we continue to push, we are using our own energy. But if we step into allowing, right, then we're trusting what is moving through us, and what is ours will come to us in exactly the right time, right? And so again, it's rest but do not quit, and it can also be a pivoting of energy, if you will. So sometimes we create the work, but the results come in later, if you will. So there's something to that too, where it's like allowing the work that you have already put out there to catch up to where you're at. So sometimes in that catching up, it is others who are needing to catch up to the information, if you will. So it's kind of like giving them space to catch up. Have you ever been lots of examples, right? A race, say there's a little kid or something that, you want to give them a head start, or if you were running and or say you're riding bike or something and they were behind, you stop for a while so that they can catch up. Why? Because they may not be whatever the event is, right? They may not be have the strength to go as fast. They may not have the mentality. They may not have the spirit, right? So they may not have the emotions to take in all of what has been put out. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to stop for a while and give others a chance to catch up. Okay. So the greater message again is rest, but do not quit. One of the other things I'd like to make a note of, and so it will depend on when this video is released, when you watch it. But what I did is I currently have about an 1,800 video library, of which I put almost all of them on private, to watch and see what is happening with my the messages. So let's just see what happens. I want to start with a deck here called Shadow Work, because sometimes also people rest because they've got a lot of busyness going on, and in their resting they begin to do or work on what would be their shadow work, because they're sitting with themselves. They're not creating or not moving forward or not whatever. They're slowing down in essence. So the stuff that's been maybe they've been trying to outrun is catching up to them, right? And so when it catches up, it's like saying, okay, yes, this is an opportunity to do some of that shadow work. What is shadow work? Shadow work is things that we think about that we maybe wished we would have handled different, things that affected us as a child or yesterday or last week, right? And that we didn't deal with because we were busy. We didn't want to go there. We felt overwhelmed about the whole thing. It felt painful or emotional, etc. And we didn't want to feel our feelings. So the shadow work is this place. It's this space. It's a container, if you will, where we choose to feel the feelings, the hard stuff, to move through it, to face it, to look at it from multiple different angles, right? So I have this cork top here, right? We look at it from different angles and we go, oh yeah, that maybe that affected me this way because of, right? Um, but still understanding that everyone has a role in our life, and that is to help us evolve. So let's just go ahead. Okay, I already started shuffle, and one of these wanted to come out. Okay, this is interesting. Sacred boundaries, right? So I have goosebumps. Okay. So me stepping back in this particular situation could be creating sacred boundaries, right? I respect and I honor my limits. So if I am constantly going and doing and putting out, but it's depleting me, then what would be a wise choice? To set boundaries. And I really like this word, sacred boundaries. Respect and honoring your limits sets you free. So it speaks about assertiveness and self-care. It's like that balance, right? Assertiveness and self-care. So at what points in your life have you may have set boundaries, but did you, like, it's interesting. We may have set boundaries because we might have, there could be all different circumstances that would be more in line with like the earthly, the human experience, if you will. You set boundaries because whatever, could be relationship, it could be work boundaries, it could be family boundaries, right? However things are going. But when we say sacred, that's about honoring thyself, right? Getting to know thyself, choosing to step away from all the the pressures and to take care of the self, right? Respecting and honoring your limits. So knowing when to say no. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it was like trying to explain to them about this idea of our energy, it's like a gas tank, if you will. And so at what level are we keeping it at? Do we constantly go out each day with our tank only at whatever energy level? If the center is a half a tank, right? Do you go out with a quarter tank, an empty tank, eighth of a tank? Are you on 3/4 of a tank, or do you wait until you feel as if your energetic tank is full? Your energetic tank, your spiritual tank is full, right? So that's filling your own cup, because you can't fill another's cup if your cup is empty. So setting those boundaries so that you can do that self-analysis and say, yes, today I feel like I am wherever I am on that spectrum of energetic energy, right? Let's just say energy. Okay, the next one that we have is shame and guilt. Okay, feel them without judgment. Mistakes do not define your worth. So this is about having compassion for yourself and acceptance for yourself. So this is something that will come up. If there is something that we have done, that we have said, or if we have hurt someone because we reacted versus responded calmly, we sent a ripple out into the universe, right? And because we blurted something out, possibly, or reacted in a certain way, we may carry shame and guilt for that. The question is we can go and ask for forgiveness from the person, or say, look, I recognize what I did, or person, or whatever the situation is, right? And I'm working on doing better in that area, and work to make amends, right? But some people are not going to want to forgive or be forgiving. Why? Because they want to hold one over on you, right? Some people say one up you. It's like, and they want to cut you off, and that's it. But the thing is that not only are we looking for compassion for and acceptance for the self, when we do that for the self, we learn to very much have that for others. And especially when we see others aren't forgiving themselves because they're moving through shame and guilt, right? So we are being encouraged when we sit with ourselves, when we're not being this busy thing, right? Asserting ourselves constantly, that when we sit with ourselves in that catch up time where everyone else is doing something else or we're just sitting and we have shame or guilt creep up, the idea here is to feel them without judgment, but and understand that mistakes do not define your worth. We are spirits that are having a human experience here. So I always think of Alan Jackson's song, right? Being a work in progress, right? We are here evolving our soul. We are learning lessons. So feel the feelings so that you can heal the shame and guilt. That's interesting. Obviously, this is a background. It's kind of fun that just disappears. But anyway, okay. So I don't know. It just came up on my screen. I thought, oh, I'll just give that a try, and it looks like such a pretty picture. Okay, the next one is closed-minded, like shadow work. Okay, so think about, when have you been closed-minded? Okay, this speaks of stepping into being open in receptivity. So, there's various instances in our life's journey where we may be open-minded in many different areas, but there might be a subject or two or a handful or whatever where you're like, nope, not going there. That's it. I'm not, that's it. I'm closed-minded. So it says, unwilling to consider others' perspectives or entertain new ideas. Be more open. So it's interesting. I just spoke on this the other day, not on a video, but with someone, about the idea of when people say older people get set in their ways. And it's interesting that there is an older person on here, right? So that people get set in their ways. But what if think about any movies where you've seen that, where someone's like, this is the way it is, whatever it is, but then there's something that softens them, something or someone comes along and maybe they say something different, or they recognize something different, or they have an experience themselves that begins to shift their perspective, and it's like, wow, I would have never even considered that. And so some experience or conversation or whatever opens someone's mind a little bit. And that's what this channel is about, expanding the mind, understanding that there is more than we are always simply presented with in what can sometimes feel like our small world, our small existence, right? So let's see what else comes up. Light the darkness. Okay, so we have a hot air balloon here. Darkness cannot dispel darkness, only light can. So this speaks of living and embodying the energy of love, seeking clarity, and being aware about putting a light on the darkness, which is interesting because it is something that I do want to speak on today, that will definitely feel like that. It won't be in this video, but it'll be a different one, bringing light to a situation. So let's see what else comes up here. The next one that we have is breaking the chains, and we have unicorn energy here, right? So what are your self-limiting beliefs? When do you catch yourself saying, I can't, right? And when can you shift those to, or how can you shift those to, I can? Not only the words I can, I am. And so, you can see people grow in this manner. When they used to speak like that, I can't, like that's like they hung on to that tightly, right? But then they might start to shift a little bit as they were expanding their mind, right? And they started going, I can do that, right? Maybe somebody comes along, gives them a little confidence. Think of older people who never, when the cell phones first came out and they were like, what is this? And pretty soon they got a hold of it, right? Or they understood how it worked. And so pretty soon it was, I can. And then the next thing you know, somebody who's really been getting that down, they take the words I am. And instead of like, I can learn something, I am teaching something. I am helping others with this. It's I am instead of I can't or I, right? It disempowering the self. So this says break the chains of that. The only way to overcome blocks is to confront them. And it's actually interesting. I was listening to a video this morning. I didn't quite finish it, but it was a podcast, I guess. This is so funny. It feels very elusive. But anyway, and that's exactly what they were speaking about in this video, is that our world is shifting so much, right? And if we stay in the mind of the old ways, right? Close-minded, I'm only doing this, right? Like, take the idea of the newspaper where somebody only reads the newspaper. The question is, one day, will there be printed newspaper, right? Because it's about, we're looking from a higher perspective here of, being good to our earth and taking less from our earth, right? And so this is one of the ways that we can do that. And so instead of having the newspaper every day, you might go to the telephone. But then if you're on, or the cell phone or what have you, but if you're on the cell phone, then are you always on the cell phone, or is there a balance, right? Getting out and appreciating the nature that you're saving one newspaper at a time, if you will, right? Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we have divine judgment here. Okay, and so what it says is, speaks about progress and inner harmony. Master different aspects of yourself, both light and dark, right? So that is what's interesting, this shame and guilt card coming up, right? And when we set those boundaries and we go within and we step back from some things, rest but do not quit. It is in that rest period where we might be doing some shadow work, some integration of our shadow, things that we have not wanted to face or feel or acknowledge, that can be deeply painful, right? Both in the areas of what we either, this one would be kind of what you dished out, right? Shame and guilt. But we can have shadow work from wounds, right? Different things like that too. So that would be healing, like possibly an inner child. Okay, so we're gonna stop with that. I'm gonna go ahead and see what else comes up. I'm going to use a deck here. It's a tarot deck, and see what comes up with this sacred boundaries. What would you like to tell us here about these boundaries? Respecting and honoring your limits sets you free. Okay, one popped out here. Okay, so this is the Lovers card. I just have to cover this up a little bit here. It's the Lovers card, okay? I don't know if you can read that, but anyway, it is the Lovers card, right? And so you might have to set sacred boundaries in a relationship of some sort. Love, harmony, a choice, union, values, and alignment. Partnership, the strength of two relationships and passions. This is Gemini energy. It is the element of air. So it could be respecting and honoring your limits when it comes to a love relationship or a partnership, but it could also be setting sacred boundaries for a relationship, right? Let's go ahead here a little further and see what comes up with the shame and guilt. Why is this here? Okay, so we have juggling, right? And this card, it's earth energy. It's the Capricorn. Now, this is where somebody could be juggling something of the earthly realm. Sometimes this can be about partnerships, right? Juggling two people, or juggling two homes, more than more than one home. Juggling a lot of things in the earthly realm, if you will. And even though this is showing too, it's just saying trying to find balance in one's life, adapting to what's going on around them, prioritizing, time management, balancing decisions. Again, when we look at this whole thing, right, the idea was rest, but don't quit. So when you are feeling out of balance because you have a lot of priorities, it's okay to rest, to gain perspective, to get quiet, to process some of the shadow things, to let integrate what you need to know. And then it helps you to make your next choices, right? Okay, what do we have here under closed minded? Okay, we have a King of Cups energy. Maybe feeling closed minded. They are a good leader. They're tolerant, compassionate, diplomatic, balanced, considerate, and supportive. They are also generous. Um, but this, the idea here is to be open and receptive. This is the King of Cups is someone who is in they're in their emotions, right? It could be someone who poets, art, right? They express their feelings. Okay, excuse me. Okay, the next one under the light, the darkness. This is interesting. We have the Hierophant energy, so this would be one. It is the Taurus energy, and so upright, it speaks about tradition, institution, religion, society, and its rules, forgiveness, mercy, wisdom, trust, conformity, morality, and ethics. So this is very interesting because what's coming to me is this light, the darkness. Where is there darkness in some of these institutions or, sorry, traditions, this type of thing, religion, societies? Where is their darkness? This is saying bring a light to this, right? And step more into love, clarity, and awareness of what is going on. Okay, what else do we have under break the chains? Hi. Oh, gonna have a visitor here for a minute. Okay, so under break the chains, we have the Seven of Wands, which is about the boundaries again, right? It's about boundaries, holding one's position, if you will, which is interesting because it falls under break the chain, where it says the only way to overcome blocks is to confront them, right? So, hi. So with this one, it's Leo energy, and it speaks about defending yourself, holding your own, possible competition, someone challenging you, um, causing you to struggle, and putting yourself in a place of feeling like you have to protect yourself. So like in this card, this person is warding off those other wands, if you will, right? Hi. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit further here. Okay. Hi. Okay. Okay. So let's see. I'm setting them down after shuffling, so I'm just gonna do this. Okay, we have the Hermit card. So getting this clarification under the Lovers card and the sacred boundaries, we have hermiting, which is interesting, right? Because it is in that hermiting phase, right? Just like I was saying, rest, but don't quit. We go into hermit mode or isolation mode. We're soul searching. We step into solitude, wisdom. We gain wisdom. We have we become a guide, right? We're seeking spiritual enlightenment, truth seeking, and also independence. Yeah, I have goosebumps here. Okay. We're going to have another visitor, I think. Hi. We'll see. Okay. Okay, it's okay. We are going to have another visitor. We'll see. Hi. Come on, you can stay here. Okay. The next card I'm just going to kind of draw right now while I like to shuffle in between, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay, honey, can you get down? Okay. All right, so under this juggling, the shame and the guilt, we have the Wheel of Fortune card saying things are changing. There is an opportunity here that we have good luck here, karma coming around, positive karma, right? Destiny and fate. There's a turning point, a life cycle change, and chances are here. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I'm sorry. I'm adjusting. Okay. It's making me giggle. There we go. So I guess I have to hold it closer. So with this shame and things, now like your fortune is changing here. Okay, so now I'm going to shuffle again. Okay, under the King of Cups and the closed-minded, what do we have here? Okay, we have Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning in love, right? Love speaks about love and compassion, new feeling, emotional overwhelm, romance, new baby, proposal, or marriage, right? So if someone has been closed-minded, you're being encouraged to step into openness and receptivity, step into your heart and welcome this new love in, right? Okay. What else do we have under the Hierophant and the light, the darkness, right? Okay, so we have the Page of Swords. The pages are generally younger energies, right? The pages can be someone who is watching someone, right? Someone who is restless, energetic. They're in their thoughts because the swords represent the thoughts. Someone who's talkative, has new ideas, they're curious, and they have a thirst for knowledge. They're watching. They're watching someone. This Hierophant is also, this Taurus energy could be bringing light to a dark situation, right? So being aware of that. Okay, we're going to go a little further and we're going to ask about this breaking chains, and then the Seven of Wands. Tell us more about this, please. The self-limiting beliefs. Okay, we have a Knight of Swords energy. And this is generally the blockage position. So there could be a Knight of Swords energy. Someone who wants to come rushing in, who is feeling on the defense mode, right? They want to break some type of a chain. But they come rushing in with a sword, if you will. And the sword, it doesn't feel all comfy. The King of Hearts is going to feel more loving and compassionate, but this is like going to be, might be sharp words, right? But the truth nonetheless, right? So someone who's fearless, ambitious, competitive, action-driven to succeed, someone who thinks fast, is defending their beliefs, and maybe seeking a change in lifestyle. So again, this breaking the chains from something that they once knew, and they're like, okay, they've been defending themselves, and now they want to rush in, and they have something that they want to express about that. On the bottom of the deck, we have a Page of Cups. Now the page is a younger energy. It can be a Pisces here, coming in with some type of an apology, offering a small apology, right? But it could be regarding creative or opportunities, because it is the cups yet again. Artistic, intuitive, curious, possibly focused, possibility. They could be focused, and it could be a new love interest. All right. I'm just going to set that there. And then we're going to take one here for the outcome. What I'm seeing here is that we have the Three of Wands. This card represents like waiting, someone's waiting for their ships to come in, a development in a situation, progress moving forward, teamwork, commerce, or planning, expansion, and overseas opportunities, right? For whatever reason, I just am being guided to split this deck, which is kind of random with the tarot deck, but I'm getting it. Okay, so whatever these opportunities bring, you are being called to, it's about giving and receiving, fairness, sharing wealth, generosity, and charity, right? So giving and receiving in fair measure, if you will, right? Okay, I am going to go to a deck here called the Flower of Life. Let's see what messages want to come up here. I don't know if I'm just going to take, I might just take one of these. Let's see. Okay, what message do you have for the collective here today? We have now, which is so interesting, right? Because that message, rest, but don't quit. And so it's in that now moment where you are, right? We're always in the now moment. So it says, breathe into your heart and embrace all that you allow or resist. Feel this present moment as you enter the space of now. Slip into the stillness with an open heart and mind and feel the honesty of your being. Each moment of your life is filled with wonderment, challenges, joy, and sorrow. Allow all things to be as they are right now, and you will feel free to be who you are. Each moment releases the wisdom, love, and empowerment needed to bring balance in every situation, person, or place active in our energy at that moment. If you are focused somewhere else in space or time, you miss the gift. For the only time we ever truly have is now. Be present and feel the empowerment of your truth. Very lovely message. Okay, we're going to go to the crystal grid. Just think about how many times you're preoccupied, distracted, not really present when someone's either speaking with you, or say you're watching a television show, but you're trying to watch it, but you can't really concentrate on it because, or say a book, whatever it is, because there's all this chatter out here, the need to get this done, better do this, should, the whole checklist of everything. Could be what someone said to you, again, that maybe made you feel some sort of way and you didn't process that. So it's all just kind of going around and around and around. And that's what meditation is about. It's about quieting that stuff. And the more you sit with yourself in stillness and in quietness, that stuff starts to clear. It starts to fade away. And then pretty soon you start to protect that sacred space. You set those sacred boundaries. And it's like you realize, you have a self-realization that I've been letting this go. And you feel free when you don't have more and more and more of it. Because if you sit every day and you let that go and then you go out and you just pile more on, right? It's about balance. But there's a time. I mean, we are here to have lessons. It's not about closing down forever. Again, it is rest, but do not quit, right? Okay, so let's see what comes up here with this crystal grid deck. What messages do you have here? I'm going to take this one. It's at the top here. Blue argonite. So this is what it looks like, and it speaks about empathy, compassion, and communication. So anything that has blue stones, crystals, it is speaking about our throat chakra, right? So communication is key, and this is going to fall here, by the way, under the Lovers card and the sacred boundaries. Okay, so communication is key, and with the blue agonite, you will definitely send the message. Blue agonite activates the throat, the third eye, and the heart chakras, allowing you to communicate from a whole and centered place, while the stone instills hope and inspiration. This crystal enhances your ability to empathize and to show compassion for others, fostering authentic connections. Blue Argonite's communication skills also carry across when you are communicating with the spirit realm, cultivating a calm and relaxed space for even more clarity to come through. This is Capricorn energy and also the element of earth. Okay. Anyway, so let's see what else comes up here. Oh, this is actually interesting. Black tourmaline. And I say it's interesting because it falls under the shame and guilt. In tourmaline, any black stones are to help ground, protect, and to detox from negativity, right? And so when you are processing shame and guilt, that might be something that you are carrying. It also, when you're going out into places and such, it is exactly for that. If you're feeling very anxious, it's a grounding stone. An energetic bodyguard, black tourmaline acts as a psychic shield, protecting you from destruction, negativity, and psychic attacks. It is excellent in establishing boundaries, and it deflects unwanted mental energies. It is also used for grounding, stabilizing your foundation on earth, and making sure that both feet are on the ground. With a natural electric spark, black tourmaline absorbs fears and it transmutes those emotions into positive energy. Use the stone to balance your root chakra and to detox any anxieties. This is represented with the Capricorn and the Sun energy. This is black tourmaline. Okay. What else do we have about closed-minded? The King of Cups and, Ace of Cups here. New beginning in love. Okay, I've seen this card twice already as I've shuffled, and look at how green it is with these beautiful greens here in the background. So it speaks of green adventuring. And the green yet again represents our heart chakra. Okay, so it speaks of prosperity, fortune, and opportunity. Known as the good luck stone or the stone of opportunity, adventuring is used to attract abundance into your life. It propels growth, not just physically, but also personally, presenting learning opportunities for your soul's evolution. Adventuring also aligns situations so opportunities appear. Acting as a stabilizing force, adventuring balances male and female energy to bring a soothing harmony between yin and yang. Adventuring can also attract love, complementing the heart chakra and resolving lingering emotional issues. This is Aries energy and the planet of Mercury. Okay. How interesting that this comes up under that closed-minded and being willingness to openness and receptivity, especially like with the heart, right? Open your heart to new love, right? The good luck, prosperity, things coming your way. Okay, I have goosebumps as I was saying that. Okay, the next one that we have is, this is so pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it was labradorite. Labradorite, excuse me. It is a stone of transformation, magic, and imagination. Hi. we got one back here. Okay, a stone of transition. Labradorite assists in times of change and transformation. It expands our connection with the universe, unlocking the third eye and all the wonder that lies beyond the physical realm, as well as your magical powers. Labradorite evokes the magic we all have, reminding us to wield our power by going within and connecting to the core truths of who we are. Chase after your dreams and align yourself with the vibration of anything is possible. An energy Labradorite is all too familiar with. This is connected to Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and then also Neptune and Jupiter. Very beautiful, isn't it? It's so nice, like with the image back here, it just goes with everything in the background. Okay, we're gonna, whoops, go ahead and take one more. I had a whole pile fall out, so I'm gonna just keep shuffling. Okay, hold on, honey. Ooh, this is a cool one. I don't think I've ever drawn this. Oh yeah, I have a piece of this. Jumblebee Jasper. So it speaks about pollination, willpower, and new ideas. And by the way, this falls under break the chains, holding your boundaries. Sorry. And then waiting right for the ships to come in. So what it says is sting like a bee. Bumblebee Jasper enhances creativity and it helps to pollinate ideas, bringing them to life. The stone gives off a fighting spirit, having been formed in a volcano containing a strong earthly energy that connects with the willpower of the solar plexus. Bumblebee Jasper also assists in alleviating allergies, soothing irritations, and nurturing one's overall health. Bumblebee Jasper encourages you to create a buzz, to let yourself be seen and heard for who you are in whatever new projects you're working on. Take pleasure in your gifts. A lovely message. It is correlated with Leo and the sun with the yellow. Here it is. I'm going to just split this deck as well. Let's see if we have one final message when we split it. Okay. Well, here, we have this. This is what is my attention is being drawn to. It's quartz. It speaks about growth, alignment, and cleansing. Containing all the colors of the spectrum, quartz is considered to be a high vibrational crystal with many metaphysical powers, a conduit of energy. Quartz generates electromagnetic energy and it dispels electricity, absorbing, storing, releasing, and regulating positive or negative energy. Quartz is highly personal and it works with your energy field, one-on-one, attuning to it according to your needs. Quartz is easily programmable, allowing you to set your intention so that the stone works in your favor. Set your intentions wisely. All signs, sun and moon. I have to tell you what I am experiencing right now. And it's really, it almost makes me want to see something. As I'm holding this in my hand, it feels like someone is pushing on this. Like that. That's what it feels like right now. And if you, aren't so sure about crystals or stones, I'm not a specialist in them myself, but think about this. Crystal quartz is used in watches and computers to amplify their power, right? I often think about like the Superman movie, maybe it was the original, but when they've got like this crystal quartz, I can't really remember what you call it, but it's like some sort of a board thing that they work on, right? It's about the power within these crystals. But again, using them for the highest and best of all, not, in ways that are helpful to all. And so again, they are programmable with our intention. Anyway, so I think that that is the message for today. I want to say thank you for joining me. It's good to be here. I hope you have a great day. Take care. And if you enjoyed the video, your likes, comments, and shares are greatly appreciated.